You are listening to Radio Maria Canada, a Catholic voice wherever you are. We now present the program Via Ruah, hosted by Anna Rivera.
Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Via Ruah's program, where we hear God's breath, being a tender secret that holds and creates new life. We have here today Stephanie DiPietro,
Yes.
and she has a very beautiful testimony that she will share with us. That obviously, as we all know, we want to have an open heart to gather what the Holy Spirit is trying to tell us and how we can uphold life that's already created and new life. So, Stephanie,
Yes.
I
You
would
just
like
asked.
to I would
Yeah.
like to ask, did you grow up as a Catholic?
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yes.
then how was your faith instilled in you? Like, were you someone that your parents were Catholic, or were you someone that kind of discovered it after later to yourself, or were you somebody that was Catholic, but then the faith became very important to you after the fact?
Um, I I was raised Catholic. We went to church and I continued to go to church with my mom. Sometimes my dad would come. And so I had baptism, communion, and confirmation. And I've been Catholic ever since, like, you know, well, I believe in God. And yes.
Were you
And
ever, were you always in your youth, were you always a practicing Catholic, or did that come after?
no, no, no. It's always been like, yes.
Very beautiful. I wish I
Yeah.
could say. I
No,
think
yeah,
it had a little bit of reversion, but I think obviously the Lord always comes back to us. Um,
absolutely.
yeah. And then my other question would be, in your upbringing, did you ever question your identity with being pro-life or pro-choice?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, did you ever question why the Catholic Church held such strong views on life? Like, did you think that made sense? Did you ever question it?
Yes and no. Like, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, "Why do you believe in God?" And look what God has. If there was a God, like, why are these little kids dying with cancer and stuff? And I said, well, I can't answer that question. I said, you just have to believe and pray, and uh, you know, many many good things that has happened, and then there's bad things that has happened. But I guess so I'm always a believer. But but there was some of my friends that were Catholic, and then they decided not to be anymore. So it's disappointing, but
So they decided that they want to be any more Catholic because there was so much evil in the world.
yes, they
Oh,
were
very
saying
interesting.
they were saying that this like we're living in hell, and I'm like, no, we're not. This is. So it was a lot of people that I tried to spread the word, and some people thought I was crazy, but I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
so after this, were they still your friends?
Uh yes, 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 yes,
And then
yes.
I forgot
Yes.
to ask, but do you remember at what age you learned about abortion?
That's a good question. Um, I think I learned about abortion when I watched this movie. And I was young. I'm like, oh my. And then I didn't know. And then I think I asked an adult about it. And they're like, they like, because all my like friends and everything were all Catholic. So they just like brushed it off. They're like, oh no, I don't, I like, they just changed this subject. But then, long time ago, I think I was like maybe 17 or 18. um I went to a building, I can't remember, somewhere downtown, and they were holding the signs, and I'm like, oh. And then I seen like
What
pictures, and
signs? Like what? The
it's
very graphic.
like yes, like signs of
And how do
um
you remember your age?
I oh, I was about maybe 16, 17 years old, but
Oh
I
wow.
didn't know. I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought like there was something wrong. I'm like, why would those people have pictures like that? But I didn't take it seriously. And then I found out years ago that there was a morning after pill. Um, so there was so many things. And then I had a friend, but now she's deceased. Um, she would get pregnant and then terminate, and I was so mad. And then I didn't say anything, but she lived to 24 years old, and I'm thinking, did the Lord do that? I don't know. But then after she said she was terminating is because she didn't want to bring the baby into this world. And I'm like, well, okay. I said, you do you believe in birth control or anything? And she wanted to get fixed, but the hospital, the medical, like the doctors, they would not fix her, is because she was too young. But then I had, okay, so go on. Yeah.
You brought on a a really good point that I
Mhm.
think if we really, which I don't know if your friend was, you said she was Catholic or she wasn't.
The one that was getting an abortion, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Um, because we do believe as Catholics we should be able to uphold the virtue of self-control. And I know it sounds very judgmental, like it sounds like I'm coming down on somebody that, you know, potentially would want to have a beautiful life, let's say, with somebody else, and then obviously do the act that God created, right? Because at the end of the day, He created this for us. But at the
So,
same time, it's that's the mentality that the world offers. You should
mhm,
be able to use birth control. You should be able to have an operation so then you sterilize yourself from being able to become pregnant. Either I
mhm.
think, and then also for men, right? For to stop them from
Oh yes,
being
they can
able
get it by
to, yeah.
yes, yeah,
So
yes.
I think that's a, and this is that I'm not, I guess I'm not really personally speaking, but I think as Catholics, right, and I think most people that listen to this radio program and YouTube
Yes.
video, I think we would all agree that that is morally, Catholic speaking, wrong. And then we can question why, and then we have to know why, because we have to remember that God also gave us like feelings, but also um
Mhm.
reasoning, and when we fix ourselves or when we use birth control, we're going back to something that God didn't create. He created us as reasonable human beings that can be able to use virtues, obviously through Christ. I think it's like almost like a supernatural calling, especially let's say somebody that's a priest, right? They take the vow of chastity, but even before somebody gets married, you know, to somebody that is mortal, somebody that is here on earth, they should be able to train themselves to be chaste, because what if
Mhm.
your husband or wife, they get sick, and
Yeah.
are you going to leave them because then you can't, you know, have relations with them? So I think all of the truth that is in the Catholic Church is very looked down upon, but there's a reason why it's there. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes it's very easy to just say, oh, well, you know, you can just take this pill or you can just do this, versus
Mhm.
actually recognizing why that's maybe reducing your dignity, because it's saying, you know what, you can't really control yourself, so let me just put a pill on you, or let me do a surgery on you, so then you don't have to get pregnant.
Well, yeah, they're like, I just wanted to say, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to reach out to whoever's listening or whatever. And when someone gets pregnant, it is a blessing and a miracle from God. I am prime example. The doctor said that I could not get pregnant. It was a miracle. And then when I got pregnant, I'm like, what? And then I couldn't believe it. But so and then the girl that I told you about having one after another, and I did tell her, I said, there's so many families out there that would love to have a child, and you are terminating every month or every year. Like this is wrong. But I couldn't really say anything, is because at the time she was 24 and I was younger. So usually sometimes when you're that young and you speak, they're like, okay, what's this kid like? But
Yeah.
it really upsetted me, but I'm just grateful that I have a 25-year-old.
Yeah, so do you want to tell us more about this, Stephanie? So you said that the doctors had said, how did they figure out that you couldn't get pregnant?
They said that because when I was younger, I've had a lot of scar tissue. So they said that if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be sterile and you won't be able to have any children. So I was young and I'm like, well, I don't want to have kids or whatever. I had that attitude. And then I regret for saying what I said. And then I just, I was really sad when someone was having a baby or and stuff. And then I was about 20, I was 22 years old. And I was with someone for 4 years. And I, uh, I got a menstrual, okay, for 2 months. So nothing, but at those 2 months, I was pregnant. And when I went to the doctor and they did the test, or he did a physical, he said, you're 2 months pregnant. And I said, there's no way. They said, yes, you are. I said, you told me I couldn't have any children. So then he goes, well, you're pregnant. So I was so excited. But then what happened was um, I had her very, very early. My daughter was born at 23 weeks, 1 pound, 6 ounces, and she is a miracle child. So what happened is I guess I couldn't have any babies or whatever because they said I had a heart-shaped uterus. So I guess they said I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. But like I said, and when this happened, I believed more in God and more, because they were saying that termination, they were saying, she's going to be blind, she's going to have cerebral palsy, she's going to have, you name it, she was going to have. And then I was 22, and in my Catholic faith, my parents were very strict, and I'm not going to lie, and please God forgive me, I was thinking of termination. I'm like, what am I going to do? I have no money. My parents are going to disown me. I have no job. And then and then all of this, like before this happened, and I was thinking about it, that was all talk. I couldn't go through with it, because if I did, I would be the devil. I would be a murderer. And I regret, and I'm gonna tell you this. I even told my daughter this. My daughter started crying, and I said, I'm sorry, my baby girl, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I just had to like clear my conscience and tell her. But would you like to see a picture of her?
Sure, yes.
Okay, so now, guys, it's a little group, but I'm just being honest and trying to spread the word here, okay? And maybe this might change your mind if you are pregnant or whatever. Please do not terminate because it's a baby. This was Alicia at 5 months, and she lived. This is my daughter. And then I'm going to show you pictures after. So she was 1 pound, 6 ounces,
You said this is 22 weeks.
23. They
23
wouldn't
weeks.
have 22.
And what year was it?
1999, September 19th, 99.
I
Yeah.
think, wow. And what's your daughter's name again? I think you said her name. What's her name?
Alicia Hope DiPietro.
Alicia Hope.
Yes.
Hope. We are in the Jubilee year, right? We're in the year of hope. That's that's a very beautiful name.
And I'll tell you, okay, so, and then I have, okay, so then look at this right here. Okay, so this is another.
Oh, you can kind of see it. Yeah, that's the certificate, I guess, that you get.
Yeah. And then it says, like, does it say the time and the date? And
Yes, but I can't really make it out. It's kind of small.
so it was okay. And then they have like this was like her finger, her feet.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
And they said that she was gonna have disabilities and everything, and she doesn't even need eyeglasses, and she graduated.
It's really even what can I don't even know how to say this. I think somebody, right, people know who I like in this program who I am. And even just like that. Because right now what we saw was something that took years, right, in the making. We develop, we grow, and we literally just saw it in seconds, right? When she was like really small, and to be able to see her now,
Yes.
it's that reminder that life, it's something that is so valuable, so precious that we undermine the value or what's going to happen or what it's going to look like, especially like you said, when a doctor is telling you, really think about it because this or this or this or many other X or Y things can go wrong. So then because and I think it's good, we want to listen and we want to obey, but at the same time, I think when it comes to the medical field, I think sometimes because I don't want to say all of them, right? Because I do think there's very empathetic doctors, but I do want to say we have to really pinpoint where they're coming from and ask, I guess, a lot of questions, but also at the end of the day, make it your own decision to say that, this is a life. For how did they figure out that she was gonna have all these things? Like, did you have a blood test? Like, how was that?
That's a good. I was so mad. What happened was I was supposed to be okay, so she was born in September. She was supposed to be born January 9th. So I guess my family doctor said, okay, we're going to send you to a special, I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's called an OB or something, like a specialist for
A gynecologist, I think.
or something like that. And so, okay, so she was born September 19th. I was supposed to go to this man or woman, the doctor, on October. So because I guess it must have been filled or whatever. And then but what happened was, basically what happened to me was I was having a miscarriage at 23 weeks, basically. So I called, like what happened was, do you want me to tell you what happened or not really? Or is that?
Whatever you want to share. You don't have to share it.
So what happened was I started getting like pains. I'm like, what's going on? So then I felt pressure, and then all of a sudden, what is it called? It's like a plug. So I had no idea that some like I forget what it's called. It's something like a plug or whatever. And it's like a slimy or something. It's like it's not pleasant. So, and then all of a sudden I sneezed and I felt like I had to go to the bathroom. And you know, when you see those stories, I thought I was pregnant, but or whatever. If I did not pay attention, I could have had my poor child in the toilet. Thank God that I like, you know, noticed things. But when I was pregnant and everything, I did not feel anything. It's because when I delivered her, she came out feet first. So, but it like I said, it was a scary thing. And then I had to
Did they do, was it a natural delivery or was it a C-section?
it's natural, not natural. Like
That is so beautiful.
they
Can
said
we just, because I just want to comment on that, because I know there's a name for this type of birth. It's not, I forget the
breach,
name. Breech, yes, breech babies.
breach.
And they tell, I think, I'm pretty sure, somebody can fact check me, but I'm pretty sure right now in the medical field, if there's a breech baby, they're gonna do, I want to say 90% of the time, they're gonna recommend a C-section, which I think is
Not me.
very questionable, very questionable. I just have lots of questions, or I don't know,
Yeah,
just lots of questions, because if, you know, this was 25 years, I think, 1990, no, 22?
oh, she was 23 weeks.
So
23.
23 weeks, but how long, 1999 to now, that's 25 years.
Yes.
So 25 years. You could have
Yes.
breached, people could, deliver naturally, and then now we're recommending C-sections. And the reason why I bring it up, because lo and behold, I'm at the age where I hear stories about my friends getting pregnant. And it's it deters you from getting pregnant again to have a C-section because it's so painful. And my question is, if there's a possibility, because I think there is, to have the breech baby delivered naturally, why are we recommending so many C-sections? I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody that's credible in the health field, but this is something that unless you're pregnant or unless you're going through this process, you just never know. And I think for me, I've been able to, in the pro-life movement, you learn about different methods about what's it called? Natural childbearing and delivery at home, and there's the name for them. What's their name?
The midwives.
Yes, midwife, there we go. And knowing the differences, right? And I'm not saying it's all perfect, but I'm saying somebody as a woman that gets pregnant, a mother, whoever you are, I think we should be able to ask these questions, and we should be able to be equipped to know what the best method is, the risk of what we're gonna be going through. And yeah, I don't know, I guess, and I bring it up just because this should not deter somebody from being able to give a brother and sister to their firstborn, because once you have that very, very traumatic experience with a C-section,
Hmm.
what I've seen, this is just what I've seen, observed, is that for the next one, you're not going to be as open to having another child because it was such
Mm.
a heart-wrenching, very heavy experience that your body had to take on. But that's just like a side note. But yeah, it's just very beautiful to see that even when you had Alicia,
Alicia, yeah.
Alicia Hope, which is so beautiful.
Yes, yes.
She was able to, yeah, be here, like have life, and
She's a miracle.
literally like
Oh, your thing. Look, this
deter all the, oh, very cute.
this was in her incubator.
How long
I
was she in the incubator for? Do you remember?
this is the Beanie Baby Hope. Yeah, sorry. What were you gonna say?
How long did she have to be in the incubator for?
I altogether, okay, so altogether in the hospital 4 months, so 2 months incubated. Actually, yes, I would say 3 months. So 3 months on the ventilator, I wanted to share another thing. She caught 2 infections, 5 blood transfusions. Um, and what I was doing is I was pumping my breast milk. I rented the machine and I was pumping every day and I was bringing my milk to the hospital. And I recommend if for pregnancy babies, I believe that the breast milk did save my daughter because it helps fight infections and everything. I strongly believe in that. But yeah, it's just yeah. So I wanted to share the Beanie Baby, and what they said to me was,
Who gave you the Beanie Baby? Was it a present or like you bought it?
it was bought. It was,
Very cute.
and Beanie Baby is called Hope.
Very cute.
Yeah, I thank you. And you know what? Like I said, my father was against me having my daughter because, and I wanted to mention that too, but I don't know if you guys want to hear it.
And
But
was the father of Alicia, was he present?
yes, he was.
Did he support you?
Absolutely. If it wasn't
That's
for
very
him,
beautiful.
it wasn't for him, because these doctors kept bringing us in this little room and they kept saying, if we didn't say the right words, I'm telling you, the one doctor or the nurse said, baby's having baby. And I'm like, what? Why would they say that to me? It's because I was so young. But we're talking 1999,
And that's
things,
not too like wow,
oh, but things
you know.
were, nurses, they were tough, because I don't know why. Some of them were very, very nice, but there were some nurses that were mistreating me, because I don't know if they thought I was on, because sometimes when early childbirth happens, it's because either the mother is on drugs, or other things, so I told them, I said, you can check me, you can check my child, you can check anything you want, blood test, whatever. I am not on drugs. I remember they shaved a piece of hair of my daughter. And I said, why are you doing that? And they said, oh, no, this is a procedure. We have to do it. So I thought, they're doing that either. But I just, sometimes you have to learn how to just be quiet, because sometimes if you say the wrong thing, um, now they're like, oh, this one is, we have to look after this one because this one is maybe at high risk or something. Like this one is a risk to a child, but I wasn't. I was young. I was overwhelmed. It was a roller coaster ride. But I did encourage other mothers in the ICU, that not to give up on their baby, because there has been times that I was holding my daughter, and there was other ones that looked on the chart, like on the incubator, and it says how many weeks. And she said, why did your baby live? Your baby was 23 weeks, mine was 28 weeks, and mine died. And I said, I'm so sorry, my honey. I was trying to, I, it was,
Wow.
maybe sometimes it was meant for me to have a premature baby so I can help others. Like God works in mysterious ways.
That's right.
Uh, People are like, Steph, you're very strong. We don't know how you overcome this and did this. And I said, well, I it it I it was sad. It was a sad and then a happy ending, because
Yeah. And even I think, you know, life has its up and down, and we don't know what Alicia, in the future is gonna, we don't know what you're gonna go through in the future. We don't know what she's gonna go through, and that doesn't deter you from being here. That anyone, right? Like those babies that, you shared about the 128 weeks, maybe, God wills it, but what am I trying to say? God allows it, but it's not like he wills it, right? Because to lose a baby so young, yeah, I cannot imagine.
I put water, I put the rosary, you name it. I did everything. I prayed every single day. And they had my voice recording. There was a little recorder in the incubator, because when I go home to sleep, she can hear my voice.
Oh,
That's what,
wow. That's
yes,
beautiful. See,
yes,
I'm glad that, there's very, very beautiful stuff that I think hospitals have, but sometimes there's a lot
yeah,
of indifference. And I really want to, I guess, repeat myself just because this is not to bash the health system. This is just something that we
oh
have
no,
to improve upon. This is something that I've heard, right, from different stories from my friends that have been pregnant and have different experiences where I think people should just be educated, should be looked after with emotion, with empathy, not just, oh, well, like just very cold environment that, especially when you're pregnant, there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of, like you said, overwhelming things that you don't
yeah,
have to go through or things that, could be extreme for other people. But the reason why is because you're pregnant, right? You're trying to protect this baby and the hormones and I'm pretty sure doctors know, but I just wanted to say it again. So I think right now as it stands, I think a baby can be saved even at 20 weeks. I think even the Vitality
wow,
Life, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I think people can
no,
fact check this again. I'm pretty sure I think it's like around 20 weeks that now, and I think Alicia was born at 5 months.
yes, so 23 weeks.
That's
So
wow.
didn't
Because
believe me.
she needed 4 months, right? 4 more months to be
Yeah,
able
so
to be born.
and the doctors were so negative that because what happened was, so basically I was in labor for about 4 days, and I said I don't care. I said, because they said the longer you're in labor or the longer that you're in bed, you have higher chances of babies surviving. So I said, I will sacrifice, I will do whatever it takes to save my baby. I said, please. And then when it was time, I I was crying, and the nurse goes, what's wrong? I said, I don't want to give birth because I want to, like, I will suffer the pain and tough it out longer because I am a little toughy, and then but I it was about 4 days that I was like, I but I guess they couldn't. I would have done whatever it took, and then I had to sign papers. They had to inject steroids. They had to inject me with a bunch of stuff. I signed whatever I can sign. I said, please. I said, just save my baby. And then, stupid me, I said, they said, oh, what are you gonna do if this baby dies or something? And I begged and pleaded. I said, please. So you know what they said to me? They said, if the baby shows no sign of anything, of anything, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So thank the Lord that she was moving, and and she had her arms like this, like how God on the cross. I'm
Yes.
not. Yes, like
Wow.
that. And this weird cry because she's too early. I said, praise the Lord. That's when I knew when something like that happens. It's just it was unbelievable.
Supernatural.
I was like, because I was so worried, because then they wouldn't have they wouldn't have continued to put the ventilator or whatever. But when she was in the incubator about a couple of weeks after, my daughter took out her ventilator on her own, and then I knew then she was going to live, because why would she?
Wow. And I just want to, so she went like this, and if the doctors wouldn't have seen her arms go up.
When I gave birth, I'm not joking, and I can't see what's going down there. She went like she was like moving, crying, because they said that if she was not showing any movement, anything, they said that that was a sign of something, of her being something wrong, or something wrong with the brain or something. But I said, you know what? I said, I don't care. I said, they said, do you understand that this is going to be a lot of responsibility? And, what if she's going to be mentally challenged or have cerebral palsy? I said, well, when we get to that point, then we'll deal with it. But they
Yeah.
were so, so negative with me. It's like, I don't know, like, and the Alicia's dad is still a truck driver, so there was fine. It's not like I was on mother allowance or you get these other girls getting pregnant for the wrong reasons, and what makes me really mad. But
But at least even stuff like even then, I think we should overlook that. We shouldn't be you know, holding the stereotype against a mother, whoever they are, whatever status they are.
yeah,
It's a nurse, like scan technologist, whoever it is, they should be able to respect. I think if you're if you're taught as a child, if you're the custodian or if you're the CEO of the company, you should be treated the same. Just
oh
because,
yes,
and I think, yeah, it really
I agree.
is
Yes,
very
yes.
disappointing to hear that, but I'm just very happy that, yeah, Alicia was able to even show life the moment she was born, and she's like, I want to be here, and I think, it is very supernatural, I think, for a baby to just, know that they're there, and that they want to live. I was just looking online, and it says that it's like 20 to 25 weeks that now is like the vitality, that yes, like 20 is really, really just at the crisp of the gestational age where a baby can survive. Obviously, it's really hard, but with
It's the
medical
youngest.
advancements,
What did they
20.
say? What?
So it
Oh,
can be 20, but
they can see the baby at 20 weeks.
it's very it's hard. Sometimes they don't make it, but like you're saying, it's a miracle. Like it really, because
Well,
that's,
the nurse
I
told
think
me.
that's like 4 months almost.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
But like I said, well, because I ask a lot of questions, and back in 1999, they said if my daughter was 22 weeks, they said they wouldn't have bothered.
Oh
And
wow.
oh yes, and then one time I just randomly, I don't know, something was telling me just randomly call the McMaster. So I said, can I just talk to one of the nurses in the ICU in McMaster? And they're like, okay. So and I said, can I ask a question? And I wouldn't tell them my name or nothing. And I said, I'm just curious, like, what is the borderline or, and they would not tell me. They
Oh,
would not.
interesting. Yeah.
I was like, what's the big deal? Why can't you just say something? Like
Mm,
now maybe I'm starting to understand. I don't know.
yeah.
It's just curious. Like I just wanted to know what the but when I tell doctors, they are so nurses or doctors or someone, they cannot believe it. And I did everything natural too. And another thing I forgot to say, I only dilated 8 centimeters and I delivered. I thought I was supposed to dilate 10 centimeters, and they said no. They said you're fine.
I
And
guess
then
because the baby was like, smaller than you didn't need.
they're telling me to push, and I'm like no, because I thought that I was pushed, that that she was gonna die. I didn't want her to die, so I was, but I did what I had to do, and I think my presence in praying helped a
Mm,
lot. So
yes.
I believe in prayer. If
Yes.
even if someone's in a coma or something, um,
Mm,
you wouldn't believe how many
what can
miracles
happen?
can
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, yes, yes. So,
Stephanie, so to end off,
yes.
what would you tell a mother that, she's getting a lot of backlash, or not backlash, but just very overwhelming things that can go wrong? How can she stay strong in being able to advocate for the life of her baby?
Oh, like to like tell her, like to tell women that are pregnant that are thinking about
Yeah, like
should they
the
be or not.
doctors recommending termination, abortion. So
It-
what can a mother do? And even a dad, what can they do as a couple to be able to not feel so overwhelmed and know that regardless of how their baby comes, they're gonna have their baby?
Yes, you just believe in God, and things will like good things will happen. Like, you don't listen to everybody of negativity. If you are pregnant, that was a gift from God. If you're young or not, it's just listen to your own heart and your own feelings, and it will be well worth it later. Right now, it's scary. You're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But I promise that it will be okay. It's a wonderful feeling. You're going to be a mom, and it's a blessing from God, I'm telling you. And I know it's like, you probably don't believe me now, but I was negative at first. But I mean, you have a baby growing inside of you, and just think about it. Like, you you have to have that baby. I mean, it's going to bring you joy and health and everything. I'm telling you, and it's going to be wonderful, and you will have a lot of help. God will help you. Let's say if you're financial, whatever, there's churches, there's a lot of people that are willingly to volunteer or help. So, God bless everybody, and you know, so, and I hope I did send a good message to everybody out there.
I think you did, with beating all the odds, right? Being that underdog, that whatever comes at you, it doesn't matter because we have God on our side. And I would like just to end it off with this, even if, there's other things that happen, right? When a baby's premature, when a baby has a genetic defect, whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever that cross is, and it's not something we're expecting, literally what Stephanie said, to be able to just have faith and be able to persevere in that situation, even if it's not something that we want. And that probably would take you closer to Christ, right? We're called to go closer, to grow closer to God's love for us. And sometimes we ignore that, and we rather just terminate, right? We rather listen to whatever the doctor is saying and
I know.
just do that. So yeah, thank you guys, everyone that was here today, to be able to listen to Stephanie's testimony.
Yes.
I think you said she's going to McMaster now, university.
No, she lives in Newfoundland, and but I did bring her to McMaster when she was 3 years old, and the doctors are like, "Wow, I
But
can't."
she's in college, or is she studying?
She graduated with honors. She was going to be a paramedic, but she dropped out because the college went on strike. But she moved to Newfoundland, and she works at a fish plant, and she's doing quality control.
Very
And
beautiful.
yeah,
Look at that. Whatever
I know.
God is calling her to. It sucks. I guess it's far away, but
I know.
hopefully you guys are able to visit one another.
I miss her so much because she's the only one I have, and she wants to have kids.
Very beautiful. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely a miracle. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing this miracle story. I hope that everybody out there is able to, have a lot of hope from listening to this. And remember, wherever you are, God's Spirit, Ruah, is always there. Thank you, everyone, and have a great, blessed day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
You have been listening to the program Via Ruah, hosted by Anna Rivera, here on Radio Maria Canada, a Catholic voice wherever you are.